Next to dogs, cats are the most popular choice of pets for many households. Cats are an adorable species. This is a truth you can't deny. Cute cats with their meowing can capture anyone's heart. Cats nowadays are not just indoor pets with the task of catching mice anymore. They are gradually becoming ornamental animals, beautifying homes or even satisfying the desire to cuddle and pet these queens. In this video, we will explore cats and their relatives in the wild. The domestic cat, or house cat, is one of the 41 species belonging to the Felidae family. Classifying cats is not only an intriguing topic due to their diverse physical characteristics, but it's also one of the most understandable stories of evolution in the animal kingdom. The oldest split between all remaining extant species of cat occurred more than 10 million years ago when Pantherinae containing the big 5 inches split from Felinae containing the rest of the felids. The Felinae subfamily then continued to diverge until around 1 to 3 million years ago, producing, among others, the Caracal, Ocelot, Lynx, Puma and domestic cat lineages. In this guide, we'll explore each split in the Felidae family and the lineages and species these evolutionary divergences produced. Panthera lineage, Panthera and Neofelis genera 7 species. Once upon a time, the earth was roamed by gigantic saber-toothed tigers. Unfortunately, the last of this no doubt spectacular subfamily of cats were driven to extinction around 10,000 years ago, leaving behind the remaining extant members of the cat family with the Panthera lineage technically known as Pantherinae containing the largest and most terrifying cats. This subfamily contains 2 genera, Panthera and Neofelis. Panthera is by far the most famous of all feline genera, holding the big 5 inches include tigers, lions, jaguars, leopards and the elusive snow leopard. Neofelis contains 2 species, both of which are variations of the clouded leopard and are significantly smaller than their distant Pantherinian cousins. 1. Tiger. The tiger is the largest cat on the planet, measuring up to 3.9 meters, 13 feet, in length and weighing up to 300 kilograms, 660 pounds. This species is split into 6 subspecies including the Bengal, Malayan, Indo-Chinese, South China, Caspian and Siberian tigers with an additional 3 subspecies driven to extinction including the Javan, Bali and Sumatran tigers. They are unique in their appearance, exhibiting an orange coat with black stripes and a white underbelly, tail and facial highlights. Both black and white tigers have been known to occur from pseudo-melanism and albinism respectively. We'll talk more about melanism later. They are found mainly in the forests of South and East Asia, with a small population the aforementioned Siberian tiger inhabiting the mountain ranges of far eastern Russia and northern China. Unfortunately, tigers are currently endangered due to poaching and habitat destruction, but a healthy population does reside in India where they are protected. 2. Snow leopard. The smallest of the Panthera genus, it makes sense to assume that snow leopards diverged from regular leopards to create a super snow specializing species. But recent studies have shown that they diverged from tigers and that lions are actually more closely related to leopards. These famously elusive creatures are found on the Tibetan Plateau, the highest mountain range on Earth, and regions further north in Mongolia and Siberia. Snow leopards vary the altitude at which they live depending on the season, retreating to higher elevations in the summer where the temperature remains cool. Their thick rusty white black spotted fur helps keep them warm in their snowy habitat and provides much needed camouflage when hunting. There are currently no known subspecies of the snow leopard, presumably because of its limited range. 3. Lion. Lions once roamed the forests of southern Europe and the Middle East but are now restricted to sub-Saharan Africa and a very small population in India. Unlike most other cats who live a solitary existence, lions are pack animals and congregate in prides, which is advantageous for taking down larger prey. Lions also have a unique appearance, being the only cat to sport a mane. Charles Darwin postulated that the mane of a male lion developed through natural selection as a means of protection while fighting other males, as well as an intimidation tactic. The mane of a male lion has also been shown to be a factor for females when choosing a mate, with darker and thicker manes being the most popular hairstyle. Being a plain yellowish-brown color, the lion's coat is the least decorated of all the big cats. However, they do have a fancy black tuft on the end of their tail which no other feline has. The white lion is a rare color variation caused by a genetic condition called leucism, which results in a loss of pigmentation. 4. Leopard. In Africa, leopards occupy a similar territory to lions, but they are also found throughout much of Asia as well. Male leopards can weigh up to 90 kilograms, 200 pounds, and although they are significantly smaller than both lions and tigers, they are famously agile and can hunt while leaping from tree to tree. The pattern of their fur is similar to that of a jaguar, but their black rosettes tend to be smaller and less intricate. One of the most famous color variations is the black panther, which is not a separate species. Excessive production of melanin causes the black pigmentation of fur, and although there are black panthers in Africa, the most common occurrence of this variant is found on the Malay Peninsula. There are 27 subspecies of leopard, making it one of the most geographically and visually varied felines. Some subspecies such as the Indian leopard are noticeably more orange than their African counterparts. 5. Jaguar. Jaguars are commonly mistaken for leopards due to their visually similar fur pattern. However, there are several distinct differences between the two species. Unlike the African Asian-dwelling leopard, jaguars are found throughout Central and South America, and these aquatically inclined felines can be up to twice the size. Males can weigh just under 160 kilograms, 350 pounds. Their fur pattern also differs slightly, with spots inside each black rosette, and they can also be subject to melanism, producing entirely black jaguars. This also leads to the confusion between species. They have adapted to living in the wet rainforests and wetlands of South America, including and especially the Amazon rainforest. This has made jaguars excellent swimmers. They consume more reptiles than any other cat, using their powerful bite and large canines to prey on turtles and caiman. Jaguars are a monotypic species, meaning that there are no currently defined subspecies. 6. Clouded leopard. The first of two species contained in the Neopheles genus, the clouded leopard, is significantly smaller. Males can weigh up to 23 kilograms, 50 pounds, and are found throughout much of East and Southeast Asia. Their fur pattern reminds me a little bit of a python, with its dark brown-green fur camouflaged with a large black spotted pattern. Melanism can also occur in clouded leopards, although it is rare. They are solitary animals who are arboreal, living mostly in the trees and hunt at night due to overlapping ranges with tigers and leopards. 7. Sunda clouded leopard. This distinct species of cat diverged from the clouded leopard around 1 to 2 million years ago and is found exclusively on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Visually, it is very similar to the clouded leopard except for a slightly darker fur. One of the largest recorded populations of the Sunda clouded leopard is in Sabah, a northern state of Borneo, which is also home to orangutans, the Asiatic black bear, and the bay cat. Caracal lineage, Caracal and Leptalurus genera, 3 species. Somewhere around 5.4 million years ago, the Caracal lineage was the next group of felids to diverge from the main pack. These cats are mainly found in Africa, although the Caracal has a range as far west as India. The Caracal lineage contains 2 genera. Leptalurus contains a single species, the Serval, while the Caracal genus is split between the Caracal and the African golden cat. 8. Caracal. The Caracal is the only species from this lineage to be found in Asia, with a range extending as far east as India and as far north as Turkmenistan. In my opinion, the Caracal is similar in appearance to a cougar with a reddish-brown fur and no camouflaging. They also exhibit tufts of hair on the tops of their ears. They have been observed using them to communicate by bobbing their heads from side to side. Try picturing that. They are famously agile and have been known to perform impressive gymnastic-like stunts while catching birds in mid-flight. The Caracal is also known as the desert lynx or Persian lynx and can be found throughout much of the Middle East. 9. African golden cat. The other member of the Caracal genus is the African golden cat. As the name suggests, these felines are found solely in Africa and, when compared to other cat species, occupy quite a small range in the rainforests of Central and West Africa. They are mostly golden in color, although some have been observed with a gray coat, and spotted markings are present on some of these cats on the underside of their belly and the backs of their legs. They hunt mostly on the ground but are good hunters and have been known to climb a tree or two to snatch a monkey or a bird. 10. Serval. The serval, Leptalurus serval, is a wild cat native to Africa. It is widespread in sub-Saharan countries, except rainforest regions. The Serval is a slender, medium-sized cat that stands 54 to 62 centimeters, 21 to 24 in, at the shoulder and weighs 9 to 18 kilograms, 20 to 40 pounds. It is characterized by a small head, large ears, a golden yellow to buff coat spotted and striped with black, and a short, black-tipped tail. The Serval has the longest legs of any cat relative to its body size. The Serval is a solitary carnivore and active both by day and at night. It preys on rodents, particularly Vley rats, small birds, frogs, insects, and reptiles, using its sense of hearing to locate prey. It leaps over 2 meters, 6 feet, above the ground to land on the prey on its forefeet, and finally kills it with a bite on the neck or the head. Ocelot lineage, Leopardus genus, 8 species. The Ocelot lineage contains only one genus, Leopardus, and is one of the most diverse lineages, containing 8 species of cat, all living in Central and South America. With the exception of the Pampas cat, whose markings are much less pronounced, the cats in this genus have similar markings to a jaguar with black rosettes atop a light brown and white fur. With the exception of the ocelot, all of these cats are thought of as small cats, weighing no more than around 4.5 kilograms, 9 pound. 11. Ocelot. This is by far my favorite cat in this lineage. Its markings are made up of clear and distinct black spots and streaks atop a yellowish brown and white body. Weighing up to 15.5 kilograms, 34 pound, its size, the shape of its head, and its poise are more similar to that of a jaguar, although their color markings are not the same. Interestingly, the word ocelot derives from a Uto-Aztec language called Nahuatl, which means jaguar, possibly named so due to its similarity in appearance. The ocelot has a large range from the mountain ranges of eastern Mexico all the way down to the rainforests of Brazil. Thankfully, their conservation status is set to least concern. 12. Margay. Margays are much smaller than ocelots but are often confused for this species. They too have a combination of black spots and streaks atop a light brown fur, but their size and appearance is much more similar to that of a domestic cat than that of a large jaguar. These famously agile cats, often referred to as tree ocelots, can leap from tree to tree where they chase monkeys, birds and small reptiles. The margay has a very similar range to the ocelot with the exception of far western Peru. 13. Oncilla. Northern tiger cat. The Oncilla is another species often confused for the margay or the ocelot thanks to its similar markings. If the margay was a mini ocelot, the Oncilla would be a mini margay. Weighing up to 3 kilograms, 6.6 pounds, this species also spends a lot of time in the trees hunting for small rodents, birds and other small animals. Its range is mostly restricted to northern South America, however, a small population also exists in Costa Rica and Panama. The Oncilla's conservation status is currently listed as vulnerable. 14. Southern tiger cat. In 2013 it was discovered that there were in fact 2 populations of Oncilla who didn't interbreed, creating 2 separate species named the northern and southern tiger cat. Visually, it is difficult to distinguish between the 2 species. They are said to have very similar markings to the northern tiger cat but are slightly darker. The range of the southern tiger cat is south to that of the Oncilla, being found mostly in Brazil along with Paraguay and Argentina, where they prey on small mammals, birds and lizards. 15. Geoffroy's cat. Geoffroy's cat, Leopardus geoffroyi, is a small wild cat native to the southern and central regions of South America. The Geoffroy's cat is about the size of a domestic cat, but has numerous black spots and dark bands on the cheeks, head and neck as well as on the tail and limbs. The background color of its fur varies from a brownish-yellow coat in the northern part of its range to a more grayish coat in the south. The underbelly hair is cream-colored or even white. The backs of the ears are black with white spots. Black individuals are common. 16. Kodkod. The Kodkod is the closest relative to the Geoffroy's cat and is kind of like its smaller, fluffier cousin. In fact, the Kodkod is the smallest feline in the Americas, weighing up to around 3 kilograms, 6.6 pounds. It lives in a range of forest biomes including rainforests and deciduous temperate forests and is only found on the far western side of the continent in Chile and Argentina. They are also excellent at climbing trees and won't venture past the tree line into the alpine. 17. Andean Mountain Cat. I like to think of the Andean Mountain Cat as a miniature snow leopard. Another small cat, roughly the same size as a Geoffroy's cat or a Margay. This alpine-loving feline is found in the Andes mountain range in South America and has a much thicker coat than the Margay, Ocelot or Oncilla, allowing it to live exclusively at high elevation along with the Pampas cat and the puma. Unfortunately, the Andean mountain cat is classified as endangered and is the most threatened of all the felines in the Americas. They prey almost entirely on mountain viscacia rodents with a similar appearance to rabbits. 18. Pampas Cat. The Pampas cat is named after the Pampas lowlands, an area of fertile plains in far southern Brazil and eastern Argentina. However, this species occupies a far wider range than the boundaries of the Pampas from the high alpine in the Andes to the surrounding woodland, swampland and the savanna. This cat has been notoriously hard to categorize with 5 to 7 subspecies and many different variations of fur. They have a very similar diet to the Andean mountain cat but a little more varied. Bay cat lineage, Catapuma and Partiphelus genera, 3 species. Catapuma and Partiphelus were the first genera to diverge from the felony subfamily and split from each other around 9.4 million years ago. This lineage has a very similar range to the clouded leopard occupying the forests of East and Southeast Asia and contains only 3 distinct species. Both the Asian golden cat and the marbled cat are similar in appearance to some of their relatives, but the bay cat is one of the most unique felines I have come across. 19. Bay cat. This rather odd-looking cat exhibits a long bushy tail and either gray or a vibrant chestnut coat, the most common variant. They are endemic to Borneo and are listed as endangered with only around 2,500 left in the wild. With such a small sample size, it is difficult to determine an accurate estimation of their weight and size, but experts say this species weighs no more than 4 kilograms, 9 pounds, and can grow up to around 50 to 65 centimeters, 19.5 to 26.4 inches in length. 20. Asian golden cat. This particularly beautiful cat is another feline found throughout South, East and Southeast Asia. They have been observed with a variety of fur colors, with some exhibiting a lighter reddish coat and others with a darker brownish coat. Asian golden cats are adept at climbing trees in the forests they inhabit and have been shown to be a mixture of diurnal and crepuscular, active during twilight, hunting mostly small mammals and birds. 21. Marbled cat. The smallest member of the bay cat lineage, the marbled cat has more or less the same range and has a very similar coloring to a clouded leopard. The main fur color has a browny-green hue camouflaged with a black spotted pattern. They are thought to be semi-arboreal and roughly the same size as a domesticated cat. Lynx lineage, Lynx genus, 4 species. The lynx lineage is one of my favorite cat genera. These beautiful creatures have short tails and shaggy fur and are well adapted to their typically snowy and/or mountainous environment. The lynx genus is made up for 4 species, each of which are quite distinct from one another both visually and in terms of habitat, with only a small amount of crossover between the Canada lynx and bobcat around the Canada-USA border. It is not uncommon to see groups of lynx hunting together, although these animals are thought of as solitary animals. Similar to the caracal, all species of lynx also have tufts of hair on the ends of their ears. 22. Eurasian lynx. The Eurasian lynx is the largest of the 4 species and by some considerable margin. Males can weigh up to around 36 kilograms, 80 pounds, compared to the Canada lynx and bobcat, which tie for second at around 15 kilograms, 33 pounds. Their distribution is vast. They roam as far south as the Tibetan Plateau, as far west as Norway and Germany, and as far east as Siberia. They live mainly in temperate and boreal forests and feast mainly on small mammals such as hares, rabbits, young deer, foxes and boar. Thankfully, they are not threatened at the time of writing. 23. Iberian lynx. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for the distant cousin of the Eurasian lynx. The Iberian lynx is one of the most threatened members of the cat family. This species is endemic to the Iberian Peninsula and up until 2002 was on the verge of extinction. However, thanks to conservation effects, the population has risen from 94 to 855 in 2020 and their future is looking much brighter. Interestingly, the Iberian Peninsula is also home to a critically endangered species of bear, the Cantabrian brown bear, and thankfully the Spanish government seems to be taking conservation seriously and there are reintroduction and protection programs in place for both species. 24. Canada lynx. The Canada lynx mainly occupies the boreal forests of Canada, Alaska and some of the northern states of the contiguous U.S. In terms of its evolutionary path, it is one divergence removed from the Eurasian and Iberian lynx, which makes sense due to their difference in habitat. They are typically very similar in color to their European counterparts but have been known to also exhibit a blue-gray fur instead. The Canada lynx feeds almost exclusively on the snowshoe hare and has developed long hind legs and huge paws which help it hunt in the snow. Consequently, areas with large populations of snowshoe hares like the Yukon will be your best bet to spot one in the wild. 25. Bobcat. Bobcats occupy the southernmost range of all lynx species with their habitat stretching as far south as Mexico. They are also the smallest species of the lynx genus with males weighing no more than around 15 kilograms, 33 pounds. Their coat also varies from a reddish-brown to gray with darker spots and streaks distributed throughout the coat for camouflage. Much like its northern cousin, the bobcat survives largely on rabbits and hares but is also known to hunt larger prey such as small deer. Bobcats venture as far south as Mexico and as far north as Canada, often overlapping territory with the Canada lynx. Puma lineage, Puma, Herpalurus and Acinonyx genera, 3 species. The puma lineage is one of the most interesting for its variation of physical characteristics. Unlike the lynx lineage, for example, where all species are very similar, the Jaguarundi, Cougar and Cheetah are all very different cats. Physically, the Jaguarundi is more akin to a large weasel. The Cougar is also relatively short and stocky, especially in comparison to the cheetah, which is long and slender and the fastest animal on Earth. Honestly, out of all of the feline lineages, this is the most confusing to me. 26. Cougar. The cougar is one of the most famous of the cat species. It is well known in North American pop culture for being the largest cat species in the USA and Canada, second only to the jaguar in the Americas. In fact, the cougar is actually the 4th largest cat in the world but is not part of the Big Five, which as we know, are contained in the Panthera genus. It has a gigantic range from northern Canada all the way down to southern Argentina and Brazil. Physically, the cougar is a stocky and powerful animal capable of taking down large mammals such as deer. Cougars occupy an awkward position in the food chain. They have the power to kill coyotes and wolves, and as such their cubs are often preyed upon by these animals for self-preservation. Cougars exhibit a reddish-brown fur without any camouflaging. 27. Jaguarundi. The Jaguarundi occupies a similar range to the cougar up to the Mexican-U.S. border where it extends no further. Their fur can either be a deep reddish-brown or a dark gray. Weighing a maximum 7 kilograms, 15.5 pounds, Jaguarundis are much smaller than a cougar's and would probably fit somewhere between a Margay and an Ocelot. It has short legs and a long body and tail, hence my previous comparison to weasels. Although they have been known to climb, they hunt mainly on the ground and are also known to be good swimmers. Thankfully, this lovable feline's conservation status is also listed as of least concern. 28. Cheetah. The cheetah is the fastest animal in the world with recorded speeds of up to 71 miles per hour, 114 kilometers per hour. Cheetahs are split into 4 subspecies, 3 of which are found in Africa and the remaining Asian population is located in Iran. While these cats have long limbs to help propel them in their predatory chase, their maximum average weight is around 54 kilograms, 119 pounds, making them around half the weight of a leopard. A cheetah's diet is made up of small mammals such as antelope, warthogs, rabbits and birds. Because of their size, prey is often poached from cheetahs by the larger animals of the savanna such as lions and hyenas. Their fur is a light yellow-brown covered with black spots with their long bushy tails exhibiting stripes towards the end. Leopard cat lineage, Prionalurus and Odocolobus genera, 6 species. The members of the leopard cat lineage are a group of small to medium-sized cats found throughout Asia. The two genera that make up this lineage diverged around 6.2 million years ago, making them the second youngest felid lineage. The Odocolobus genera holds only one species, the Pallas cat, also known as the Manuel. The Prionalurus genera holds the remaining 5 species. Most of these cats are around the same size as a domestic cat, and some but not all are adept at swimming and fishing. 29. Leopard cat. The leopard cat is found throughout most of South, Southeast and East Asia. Around the same size as a domestic cat, it is said to be the first species of cat to be domesticated in China. There are many different subspecies of leopard cat and their appearance varies from region to region. Tsushima leopard cats who live in Japan have longer, bushier hair compared to their Indonesian cousins who have a much shorter pelage with a darker, more defined coloration. They are both excellent swimmers and climbers and, being semi-arboreal, like to ambush small mammals, rodents and other animals from the cover of their forested habitat. 30. Sunda Leopard Cat. The Sunda Leopard Cat was initially thought to be a subspecies of the aforementioned leopard cat, but recently in 2017, genetic analysis showed it to be a separate species altogether. While the leopard cat occupies mainland Asia, the Sunda leopard cat is found in the island nations of Indonesia and the Philippines. They thrive in tropical forests where they have been observed hunting mice, rats, other rodents, lizards and beetles mostly at night. 31. Fishing cat. A close relative to the leopard cat, the fishing cat is found in the wetlands of South and Southeast Asia. Its known populations are dotted around the coast of the Bay of Bengal, with small populations found inland towards the Himalayas and West India. As their name and habitat would suggest, this medium-sized feline is extremely adept at swimming and lives primarily on a diet of fish. They have webbed paws to aid with swimming, although less so than the leopard cat. 32. Flat-headed cat. Like the fishing cat, the flat-headed cat inhabits wetland areas and eats large amounts of fish. They are found on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra and the Malay Peninsula. Around the size of a domestic cat, flat-headed cats are smaller than most of the other cats in their lineage and are particularly rare. They have similar vocalizations to that of a domestic cat and are known to purr. They hunt mainly at night and will drag their aquatic prey away from the water to prevent it from escaping. 33. Rusty spotted cat. The rusty spotted cat is one of the smallest cats in the world, rivaled by Africa's black-footed cat. They weigh up to 1.6 kilograms, which is around half the size of a domestic cat. They are found mainly in the forests and grasslands of India and Sri Lanka, but have also been found to exist in Nepal. Rusty spotted cats have been known to climb trees, but they are certainly not arboreal and spend most of their time hunting small mammals and birds on the ground. 34. Pallas cat. This is by far my favorite cat species. Somehow natural selection has chosen one of their defining characteristics to be an intensely grumpy stare. Look, the Pallas cat is named after Peter Simon Pallas, a Prussian zoologist who first encountered the Manuel in 1776 around Russia's Lake Baikal. Similar in appearance to the Pampas cat found in South America, they exhibit thick fur and a bushy tail, which equip it well for the high mountainous regions of Asia in which they abide. They live solely in mountainous steppes and rocky areas where they hunt pikas and other small mammals. Domestic cat lineage, Felis genera, 7 species. Felis is a genus of small and medium-sized cat species native to most of Africa and south of 60 degrees latitude in Europe and Asia to Indochina. The genus includes the domestic cat. The smallest of the 7 Felis species is the black-footed cat with a head and body length from 38 to 42 centimeters. 15 to 17 in. The largest is the jungle cat with a head and body length from 62 to 76 centimeters, 24 to 30 in. Genetic studies indicate that the feliny genera Felis, Odocolobus and Prionalurus diverged from a Eurasian progenitor of the Felidae about 6.2 million years ago, and that Felis species split off 3.04 to 0.99 million years ago. 35. Jungle cat. The jungle cat is the largest felid in the domestic cat lineage, weighing up to 16 kilograms, 35 pounds. Although it is named as such, the jungle biome actually makes up very little of the jungle cat's territory. They are more often found in grasslands, deciduous forests, mountainous terrain and wetlands, hence its nickname, the swamp cat. It is found throughout much of the Middle East and Asia, where it preys on small mammals, birds and fish. There is some debate as to how many subspecies exist, with as few as 3 and as many as 10 recognized depending on the governing body. 36. Black-footed cat. The black-footed cat is the smallest feline in the domestic cat lineage and one of the smallest species in the world. They are found exclusively in southern Africa in the countries of Namibia, Botswana and South Africa. I like to think of them as Africa's answer to the Kodkod. They have a light brown coat with clear black markings and, unlike the Kodkod, have a strip of black fur under their feet, hence the name. They spend the day relaxing in the burrows of other animals and spend the night hunting for small animals including mammals, birds, reptiles and amphibians. 37. Sand cat. The sand cat is a desert specialist. They are found throughout the western half of the Sahara Desert and dotted around the Middle East and Central Asia. They are famous for hunting snakes, in particular, the highly venomous members of the viper family. Not all heroes wear capes. Sand cats are excellent diggers and spend most of the day escaping the desert heat in burrows. They hunt during the night and use their digging skills to prey upon animals such as the sandfish, a species of skink known to burrow or swim in the sand. Like the jungle cat, the sand cat also has 2 black stripes on its front legs. 38. Chinese desert cat. Much like the jungle cat who does not frequent the jungle, the Chinese desert cat does not live in the desert. Also known as the Chinese mountain cat, they are found in the alpine meadows and high-altitude grasslands of northern China. They are one of the rarest cats in the world and many of their characteristics and behavior traits that are still unknown. Like many other cats of this lineage, they spend the day relaxing in burrows and hunt mainly during twilight or at night, preying upon birds and small mammals such as the pika. 39. African wild cat. The African wild cat is the closest relative to the Chinese desert cat, both of which are 2 divergences removed from the domestic cat. They have a huge range covering the Middle East, Central and Southern Asia and most of Africa. They occupy a variety of biomes from the tropical grasslands of Africa, also known as savanna, to the steppes and mountain ranges of Central and Southern Asia. They prey mostly on small mammals such as mice and rats, birds, small reptiles and even insects. There are 3 known subspecies of African wildcat. The nominate subspecies, a subspecies given the same name as the species to which it belongs, occupies northern and central Africa, the southern African wildcat and the Asiatic wildcat. 40. House cat. The cat, Felis catus, commonly referred to as the domestic cat or house cat, is a small domesticated carnivorous mammal. It is the only domesticated species of the family Felidae. Recent advances in archaeology and genetics have shown that the domestication of the cat occurred in the Near East around 7500 BC. It is commonly kept as a house pet and farm cat, but also ranges freely as a feral cat, avoiding human contact. It is valued by humans for companionship and its ability to kill vermin. Its retractable claws are adapted to killing small prey like mice and rats. It has a strong, flexible body, quick reflexes, and sharp teeth, and its night vision and sense of smell are well developed. It is a social species, but a solitary hunter and a crepuscular predator. 41. European wild cat. Coming from the same group of wildcats as the African wild cat, the European wild cat is similar in appearance but noticeably more bushy and with less distinct markings. They are the closest relative to the domestic cat and, in addition to Scotland, are found throughout much of the central and southern regions of mainland Europe, as far east as Turkey and as far west as Portugal. They live in deciduous forests where they prey upon small mammals such as rats, voles and mice, and many other animals including birds and reptiles. There are 2 known subspecies, which separate those found in Turkey and the Caucasus region from those found throughout the rest of Europe.